Hello everyone, Cody here, DracDoc, back with another video. It's been quite a long time since I've actually put out a video. The last one was letting you guys know that I was going on the fragrance sabbatical, and you know, it's been a while since then. It's past the time that I said that I was going to come back. Apologies for that. The reason why that will become apparent when I tell you guys what's been going on within the video, and I'm sure many of you have similar situations that are going on. But yeah, it's also been a pleasure to get personal messages from you guys letting you know that you want to see me back doing videos, doing reviews, and that's very touching to hear. I like getting those type of messages, and yeah, it's been pretty good. So anyways, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update on my personal life. So personally, one of the reasons that I said that I was going was to focus more on my physical health, which has actually improved. I've been able to sustainably lose 15 pounds. And what I mean by sustainably, I don't mean, going off the deep end doing something that I can't do all the time, but more like a change in lifestyle, right? So for example, walk to work all the time. Swimming is a normal part of my routine. And I started taking martial arts. I started doing jiu-jitsu. For those of you who have known me for a long time, you know that I used to do Muay Thai, but now I wanted to do something that kind of took me out of my comfort zone, if you will. Grappling with other people isn't something that I was completely comfortable with, if I'm being honest, but jiu-jitsu has really taken me out of that shell. It's also, helped, I guess you could say, teach me other more mindful skills. That you get a lot of jiu-jitsu that has nothing to do with, grapple moves or, learning how to defend yourself or fight. But there's a lot of life lessons that you can actually get through it, perseverance lessons, and the school that I joined is an absolutely fantastic school. So I've been enjoying that. On, I guess you could say, on more of a job front, one of the other reasons that I had left was to focus more on my position. And unfortunately in December, kind of had a talk with my company, and the company wanted to move I guess you could say my positions to both Denver and Burlington, Massachusetts. And I kind of looked at that and, decided, no, I won't be, applying or re-going with those positions. So I decided to take severance and, leave the company that I was at. So that happened at the end of December, and I was, kind of thrown for a tailspin, but it gave me a good opportunity to kind of sit back and, kind of reevaluate myself, look at my goals, what I had planned for myself. Look and spend some more time with my daughter, which I ended up doing, and it ended up being a good time. I mean, if I'm being honest with myself, I've actually never taken off longer, I guess you could say, than 2 weeks. No, not even 2 weeks, like a week and a half from work since I was 13. I started work when I was 13, so I've been working constantly on, since then. So it was nice to take kind of a little break. It's not given break, but it is what it is. So kept more positive on that. And during the time frame, I targeted 5 companies specifically. Now, these 5 companies within my field are the top to work with. I work in product management, and so there are 5 companies in the world generally that are considered the top in my field. Though that would be Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, right? So I went and started going through the review process for them, and luckily, lo and behold, I ended up getting accepted to a position, and now I work for Amazon. So all things worked out. I am ecstatic with my new job. I love my team. I love the work that I get to work on. It's highly complex, highly involved, and that's the best way that I like it. It really challenges myself to kind of learn more about systems, more about, in this particular field, it's supply chain optimization, so supply chains and how they work. And yeah, it's been a real pleasure, and to join this team, and I am absolutely loving it. So, whew, man. And kind of at the same time, I've actually taken on to mentoring other product managers to help further themselves in their career. And so I've been working with them, helping them shore up their resumes, figure out how to best position their experience to match with them. So that's been extremely enriching as well too. And then the final thing on a personal note is I am expecting, myself and my wife, or if my wife is expecting, I am along for the ride, don't care how you look at it. But we will have a little boy come September. So our daughter will have, you know, a new playmate, if you will, and we'll have a younger brother. And we are really excited for that, you know, news as well too. So yeah, so that's, you know, been the major, I guess you could say, chunk of my personal, you know, life, if you will. Now, as far as, let's move on to fragrance real quick. Now, fragrance, from a fragrance perspective, I had planned on returning when I said I did. What happened was COVID-19. Now, those of you who know me for a while know that I live in New York, right? I live I live in downtown Brooklyn. I live in the heart of New York City. And you know, there's just, if for anyone familiar with New York, you know that if you live in the city, you don't have a lot of space, right? And so as this was going on, we kind of took a step back, and we'd been monitoring some other cities and how COVID was spreading. This was earlier on, I think in like January, February, and we were monitoring how it was spreading, and we realized, wait a second, this will probably hit New York City pretty hard. And it may come to the point where it gets, how do I put it? The city gets shut down. And if that happens, are we comfortable with staying in the city limits? And we both kind of decided, Becky and I have both kind of decided, no, we don't want to. And we would head out towards Florida instead, where she has family. They're staying here. And so that's what we did. We ended up, you know, on the spur of a moment, last decision, we were like, okay, it's starting to come here. Let's see what we can do. Rented a minivan, threw a bunch of our stuff into the minivan, you know, got our daughter, and then drove straight down to Florida, basically. And this is where we've been ever since, and where I'm recording this video from. That's why the room doesn't look familiar. This was actually my wife's childhood room that she grew up in. But yeah, but within that process, I didn't pack up my fragrances. I never brought the fragrances out and took them down because they weren't essential at that. So yeah, so unfortunately, I don't have any of my fragrance stock with me, don't have anything fragrance-wise to talk about, and that is the main reason why I am not returning right now, and would not be returning to until I at least am able to get back to my fragrances. And I don't know quite when that is going to be. I was originally hoping that it might be on the short term, but it might be on the longer term. It really depends on, you know, when my company decides to reopen up their corporate office, you know, in New York City. So, you know, it just depends, right? So I'll give you an update on that, you know, when time permits, but that's really the situation and what I'm going through. As far as, you know, when I return, there's definitely going to be some changes. Now, I haven't really been following the fragrance community. One of the blessed things about doing this sabbatical was the chance to enjoy my own fragrances, and I have really enjoyed my own fragrances. I've forgotten what it's like. When I'm reviewing fragrances, I'm spending a lot of time actually just testing out new fragrances. I'd probably say of the time that I'm wearing fragrances, maybe 80% of the time is spent you know, doing tests and gathering notes, and only 20% of the time is on my own fragrances. So now that 100% of the time is with my fragrances, it's been, you know, it's been pretty good. I really have forgotten how much of a lot of these fragrances I liked and how much I enjoyed wearing them, and so it's been a treat. Yeah, so when I do return though, it'll probably be at a less of a clip. You know, I'll obviously have to spend more time with my daughter, with my family, but at the same time, what I actually mean by that is, one of the things that I've never kind of jived with is the whole influencer type category. And the way that I approach fragrances and review fragrances is from the perspective that I'm just a normal person talking about fragrances, right? So with that in mind, the purpose of this whole reviewing for me will be just a normal person giving you my opinion. And for me to go about that is to make sure that I do not have any monetary influences coming in. So when I do come back, what you can be reassured is that any of the videos that I put across, none will be coming from any paid content, if you will, with the exception of YouTube ad revenue, but that's just something you flick on. But outside of that, no deals with companies, no exclusive deals with, you know, a fragrance house to, review a particular fragrance for any monetary value. If I'm going to review it, it's going to be either purchased out of my own stash, or, it's going to be provided for free with a specific stipulation that, this is not guarantee that you get a good review or anything like that. And that won't even shoot the review up in terms of when it's going to be, because another one of the annoyances that I had was, even when I did that, I found that I was releasing a review the same time that like 8 other people were doing the same thing, and it turned out to be a marketing campaign. And that, I hate that kind of stuff. So for stuff like that, I'll have to be more proactive in finding out if that is the case before I shoot it down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I really do want to turn my channel and make sure that it's back into the position of just being a normal everyday person giving you his opinion on a fragrance, no company influence. I've been doing it with my gaming channel and I have loved it. It's just exhilarating. It's a lot more fun to have a hobby, and that's what this is. It's a hobby. It's not something that I make money off of. And that's the way that I want to keep it. And I felt that I was drifting a little bit too much in that direction before. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know how you guys are, what's been going on within the fragrance community. Again, I got a chance to jump on Robe's live stream. That was fun. But I'm always curious to see what's going on. I hear Steven's got his new fragrance line. I think I want to go at least get a sniff on, and if it smells good, purchase a bottle or two. Won't be reviewing that, but I'll touch on that later. But yeah, wish him all the best success. I know other people have been doing really good with their channels, and yeah, I just kind of want to hear what's going on, your take of, the fragrances, and as always, be positive, guys. That's it. All right, so look for another video from me sometime in the future. I don't know when that will be, but maybe when I have a better understanding of when I'll be back in New York next to my fragrances. But that's it. Take care, guys.